Sorry. Checkpoint 2, checkpoint 3. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the Union Transfer here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, USA for the final press conference for Friday night's World Championship Boxing doubleheader taking place at the Liacouras Center, and it's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing USA. Now, the card's going to be broadcast live around the world, exclusively streamed in the United States on Dazn, and it'll be broadcast exclusively in the UK on Sky Sports. You know, it's great to be in the fighting city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. There's such a great pugilistic history here in the Quaker City. And whether you're talking about fights that took place at the Spectrum, or my favorite fight venue of all time, the legendary Blue Horizon, about a mile away from here, 1314 North Broad Street. Whether you're talking about the fighters, guys like Smokin' Joe Frazier or Bad Benny Briscoe, Eugene Cyclone Hart, Philly fighters have always had a cachet, a mystique, an aura about them, and for good reason. And this card is stacked with Philly fighters. Tevin Farmer, Gabriel Rosado, Hammer and Hank Lundy, Avery Sparrow, not to mention the great Irish fighters to kick off the St. Patrick's Day weekend. So it's shaping up to be a great night of fights, and here to tell you all about it, the man that put it together, Matchroom Boxing's USA, Mr. Eddie Hearn.
Thank you, David, and thank you, Philadelphia. It's a great turnout here today ahead of a huge card on Friday night, live on Dazn across America and Sky Sports in the UK, and also broadcast throughout the world. It's our first show in Philadelphia. This city has a great reputation for being a great fight city. And finally, on Friday night, Philadelphia, for the first time in 16 years, has its very own world champion defending a world title in Tevin Farmer. As you've just seen from Tevin Farmer, he has just turned up. He was half an hour late, but you know, he's become a little bit big time now. I remember he would have been half an hour early 4 fights ago, but it's okay. He gets the chance to shine on Friday night, and I think this city should be very, very proud of him. We're expecting a fantastic crowd of not just the public from Philadelphia, but also a huge Irish contingent. Of course, as David said, St. Patrick's Day weekend, and we have a great amount of Irish fighters on the card. Of course, John Joe Nevin, and the great Katie Taylor trying to unify the lightweight division one more time against Rose Volante, and of course Dublin's Jono Carroll trying to become world champion by beating Philadelphia's Jono Carroll. There's so much to Tevin Farmer. There's so much to talk about on this card, and we're delighted that this city has welcomed us here. And one man that's helped us bring this show here, and I want him to come up and say a few words now. A big round of applause, please, for Russell Peltz.
As I said a few weeks ago, I've been around long enough that I did business with Eddie Hearn's father. But I'm here really to talk about a couple of the fights on the card, one in particular that has made Philly the great fight town it's always been, and that's a fight that would be a main event in almost any building in this city, and that's the 10-round lightweight fight between the grizzled 35-year-old veteran Hank Lundy and the brash young kid, 25-year-old Avery Sparrow of North Philly. It's the kind of fight that made Philly a great fight town, and it's one of the most talked about fights on this card, and I'm really looking forward to it as just one part of the card. And of course, there is the epitome of the Philly fighter on this card, Gabriel Rosado. As I've said before many times, there are fighters from Philly, and then there are Philly fighters. And not only Gabe, but Hank Lundy and Avery Sparrow, the three of them, never turned down a fight. So it should be an exciting night for everyone. I'm in love with Jono Carroll's beard. And Tevin Farmer, it's nice to see you. Should be a great show. Thank you.
Thank you, Russell. Before we go to those some of those championship fights that you discussed, some very other important fighters on the card who are either starting their pro journeys or about to challenge for world titles. We're delighted to particularly have three, I didn't even know this, I've just come to it, three Olympic gold medalists on this card. One in Luke Campbell from Great Britain, one from Katie Taylor, of course, from Ireland, and one from Daniil Yulusinov as well, from Kazakhstan, one of the best young prospects in the sport of boxing. We're going to start being St. Patrick's Day weekend with someone that didn't quite win the Olympic gold, but was very, very close. Sold a huge amount of tickets on Friday, and thank you to Tom Moran and Ron Bodie as well, and the team. It's going to have massive support, helping this Irish noise be nice and loud on Friday night. I'd like to welcome up to say a few words, John Joe Nevin.
How you doing? I'd like to thank Matchroom Promotion, Eddie, for having me on this card. It's going to be a great show. The likes of my own teammates, Katie Taylor beside me, Jono Carroll that I grew up beside, like training alongside. It's going to be a great night of boxing. I've a big Irish following here, so hopefully I can put on a good show for my second home. Thank you.
Thanks, Jono. I'm going to welcome up now a man whose English is getting better and better. This young man is a fantastic talent. As I said, won the gold in Rio, one of the top 147-pound fighters out there right now. You're going to love watching him in Philly on Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, from Kazakhstan, Daniil Yulusinov.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be in Philadelphia. Philly is a home of boxing. A lot of greatest boxers came from in Philadelphia. Beautiful city with great history. Hope you will enjoy Friday night show. Thank you.
Better every time, Daniil. Well done, well done. I'm going to now go to another Olympic gold medalist. We really are spoiled on this card. A fantastic young lightweight fighter who I felt beat Jorge Linares for the WBC lightweight title. Now came back and avenged a loss to Yvonne Mendy in a final eliminator to become the #1 challenger with the WBC, and awaits the Spence Garcia fight on Saturday, because he will be ordered to fight Mikey Garcia straight after that fight if he chooses to return to lightweight. One thing's for sure, Luke Campbell will be fighting for the WBC title this summer, and on Thursday night he returns to the ring against Adrian Young from Mexico to try and prepare for a very, very important moment in his career. Ladies and gentlemen, the former Olympic gold medalist from Britain, Luke Campbell.
Hey everybody, great to be here. Thank you to Eddie and Matchroom Boxing for putting me on the show. Very excited to be fighting in America again. It's my third time on my career, and fighting in Philly, city I've always wanted to go to, and we're on a great card. It's also good to be on the same card as John Joe Nevin. It's been a while since me and him shared a bill. So yeah, it's all good. This fight me is going to start me off on a great win for the year, and it's going to put me in good stead for what comes next. I'm excited. Thank you.
We have been taking young fighters to World Championships and to Unified World Championships for a number of years now. Luke Campbell is someone that we've represented since his professional debut. Daniil Yulusinov as well, Anthony Joshua, Callum Smith, Cal Yafai, all now world champions and unified champions and Ring Magazine champions. And we're trying to replicate that model in the US. And the way that you do it, for me, is to move fighters at the right pace, to keep them nice and active. I think in the US there's a major problem that too many fighters are too inactive, fighting once, twice, 3 times a year in the early stages in their career. Now, for fighters like Raymond Ford, who I'll bring up here shortly, I believe they should be fighting 7, 8 times a year, 19 years of age. And I feel like if you look at our young stable of fighters right now in America, it is, in my opinion, far superior to any other promotional company in the US right now. I think we have an unbelievable crop of fighters. You saw Nikita Ababi go 3-0 at the weekend. Otha Jones 3 made his pro debut, again just 19 years of age. Diego Pacheco from LA, he's just turned 18. Alexis Espino as well. Amo Williams just turned pro with us as well. And I think this young man is going to be a phenomenal, phenomenal fighter. He comes from outstanding stock. And I'm so excited to get the opportunity to work with these young fighters and try and take them all the way to their dreams, to that world championship. And you know, in a crazy sport that we work in and live in at the moment, the excitement you get from being involved with a young fighter, trying to help them plot their way to greatness, for me, is more rewarding than anything in the world. So for a big round of applause. He's spoken before at the first press conference, but just a couple of days away from his pro debut. I did say from Philly previously, but now we're a couple of days away. I can tell everyone the truth. From Camden, New Jersey, ladies and gentlemen, Raymond Ford.
How y'all doing? I'm ready to fight. That's all I really have to say, and I'm thankful for Eddie Hearn for putting me on the show so close to home, and I'm just ready to perform, and I hope y'all enjoy the show. Thank you.
As Russell said earlier, fights like this are so important to not just the card, but to the city, also to provide value for money for fight fans. And I think Avery Sparrow against Hank Lundy is a great crossroads fight. Hank Lundy's been in some big fights in the lightweight division. Avery Sparrow is a top prospect coming through, trying to make his mark on the division. I don't know who I should call up first. So Hank, you spoke really well last time. You look a lot thinner than the first press conference, to be fair. But I think you got just a little bit more to say than Avery. So I'll let you speak second, if that's all right. Avery, if you come up now, say a few words. Ladies and gentlemen, Avery Sparrow.
Just want to thank everybody for coming out. I'm blessed for this opportunity. Eddie Hearn, Russell Peltz, Matchroom Boxing, give me this opportunity. We had a good camp. It was long. We prepared good. We had good work. Solid sparring. We're ready. Hank Lundy, he's a veteran. He's over there, his head down. He looks a little hungry. You know, he's spent. But come March 15th, you're gonna see what all this hype is about, and a great show and a great performance from Avery Sparrow. I hope Hank Lundy is training his ass off, because he talks a whole lot. So I hope his talk matches his work ethic. Because if not, he's going to be in for a long night. I don't know what he's expecting. I don't know what he was thinking about when he took the fight, taking the fight against a young, hungry prospect like me after he's seeing what I've been doing in the year that I had previously. But he got the balls. He's going to come show up. And just like he always talks and he always shows up, he always gets iced. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ice this shit out you on March 15th. Because you old and you washed up and you in the wet. Thank you.
So, apparently he's old, he's washed up, he's struggling at the weight. His turn to speak, ladies and gentlemen, Hank Lundy.
Oh man, I like to thank Matchroom Boxing, Eddie, Russell, CES Promotion, Avery team. We gonna keep this calm, cool, and collected, because I already know what's about to happen. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're gonna put the young punk in his place. You know what I mean? And that's facts. You know what I mean? You ain't fought nobody, and we gonna keep it like that. But everybody, I want y'all to come out there, enjoy the fight. Be there. This fight starts 6 o'clock. It's not going to whole tent, and that's facts. At the end of the day, it's on, man. Y'all already know what Hammer do, man. He say 35, I'm 25, man. And I'm gonna tell him like this. It's fight time. We all good. I make money, baby. Got my own business, baby. I make money. Yeah, I make money. Okay. Yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, we can put him out. You know what I mean? He got to go to sleep. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, any kids in here Make sure you stay off the streets, don't pop no pills, and don't do no drugs, because you end up like this crackhead right here. You know what I mean? That's facts.
Sorry, go on, Hank.
And I'd like to give a big shout out to my man Corey Spranks for coming down, you know what I mean? Coming to the fight, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Just to show like, how good is this card that fight is on at 6 o'clock, right? So whatever you do, to be honest, don't even bother going to work on Friday. Just call in sick. Just start drinking from like midday or something like that, and just come down and make sure you're in this venue nice and early. Right, where are we? I've lost my train of thought. Okay, right. Okay, now this, people talk about Lundy Sparrow potentially stealing the show and being in fight of the night. This fight right here, for me, could well be fight of the night. This is a fantastic fight that is so important to the middleweight division right now. Maciej Sulecki against Gabe Rosado for the WBO International Middleweight title. As I've said before to the media this week, basically the winner of this fight is going to fight Demetrius Andrade for the WBO World title. So if you weren't motivated enough, now you need to be motivated, because right now the money in the sport of boxing is sitting right there in the division. You've got Demetrius Andrade, you've got Gennady Golovkin, you've got Danny Jacobs, you've got Canelo. They're all on the Dazn platform, and the winner of this fight, in my opinion, will go on and challenge for the World Championship in June. Two great guys, two great fighters. We've seen Gabe, as Russell said, in so many great fights over the year. He really is an ambassador for boxing here in Philadelphia. And Sulecki, a great fighter, great wins over Santino Jr., a great fight with Danny Jacobs in New York as well, and coming back from a solid win, ready to try and mount his challenge and fight for the world middleweight title. Firstly, I'd like a big welcome from Poland to Maciej Sulecki. But before you come up, I'd just like to introduce your promoter, our co-promoter, someone who we've worked with for a number of years, a great man from the fight game, and like to acknowledge Zach Margulis as well. Ladies and gentlemen, to introduce Maciej Sulecki, Leon Margulis.
Thank you, Eddie. Hello, everybody. Oh, first, okay.
It's great to be back in Philadelphia. Thank you everybody for coming. It's also great to work with Eddie Hearn and his wonderful staff. And, Matchroom's truly proven themselves to be one of the top, if not the top promoter in the world, and we've been blessed to do a fair amount of business with them, including our collaboration now with Maciej Sulecki. As a fight fan and as a long-term professional in the sport, I totally respect Gabriel Rosado. I've seen him in all his wars. I don't ever think I saw him in a fight that I didn't enjoy, because he brings a lot of action to the fight game. With Maciej Sulecki, you have a world-class middleweight who's knocking on the door and whose time, I believe, is here. So we're thrilled to be here. We're thrilled that Rosado stepped to the challenge, and I'd like to introduce middleweight contender Maciej Sulecki.
Hello, everybody. I always must be first, and you know, thank you very much, Eddie, and Matchroom Boxing, Dazn, that you give me chance, and I promise that I not let you down again. I was great training camp with my new coach, Piotr Wiczewski. Thank you, coach, very much. I had great 10 weeks hard work, and I'm ready. I'm ready on everything what he showed me in the ring, and I hope that you will be ready what I show you in the ring. I'm ready on big war, I'm ready on crazy fight, and I can't wait.
If you notice with my press conferences, there's no real structure. Like, there's no notes or anything, it's just complete madness. So we're going to carry on now with, after that fight, and we're going to talk about the women's unification fight. Before we do, obviously, a very special person to call up to the stage. Like I said, Gabe Rosado's been involved in some wonderful, wonderful fights. A great ambassador for the sport of boxing in Philadelphia, and I believe, speaking to him last night at the basketball game, in the shape of his life, in the mental shape of his life as well, to take this opportunity and go on and challenge for the world middleweight title. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Gabe Rosado.
First and foremost, I want to thank God for this great opportunity. Russell Peltz, Michelle Rosado, my team, Eddie Hearns, thank you for the opportunity. We had a great training camp. You know, I think you guys are going to see the best of Gabe Rosado come Friday. We have a good momentum going on. You know, we just fought in November, so we got that momentum coming from that first training camp, and it's just good to stay active. You know, I know what this man brings to the table, but it's nothing I haven't seen. You know, I fought the best. I think the experience is all going to kick in, and thing is, this fight's in Philadelphia, man, so I'm gonna turn up extra hard. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna sit down on my shots. My goal is to knock this man out. I don't just want to win on the scorecards. I want to stop him. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be a war. It's gonna be a war. It's gonna be real nasty. Promise you. It will. It will. Promise you. So look, like Eddie said, call off from work. Like for real. Call in sick. You know what I mean? Get your drink on, enjoy the show, and let's go, Philly.
Thanks, Dave. That is going to be a great fight. WBO International Middleweight title. Now we move on to a unification fight. Women's boxing is absolutely flying right now, and the main reason for that, in my opinion, is Katie Taylor. Not only did she force boxing, women's boxing into the Olympics, but she also forced women's boxing in front of the networks, the broadcasters, the sponsors and the fans, and showed them how entertaining women's boxing can be. As I've said, at every press conference I've ever done with Katie Taylor, forget women's boxing, forget men's boxing, it's just boxing, just watch. She is, in my opinion, one of the most entertaining fighters on the planet, and in front of her on Friday night is another world champion, Rose Volante from Brazil, become a huge star in Brazil now. She's 14-0. She's been flawless as a professional. She's extremely strong. She punches very, very hard. By far the toughest test of Katie Taylor's career so far. And I'd like to welcome up to say a few words. I know she has a translator here as well. The current reigning WBO lightweight women's champion, Rose Volante.
Boa tarde a todos. Agradeço a Deus a oportunidade de estar aqui. Sem Ele não somos nada. Mais uma luta na minha carreira e mais uma luta e uma oportunidade de estar aqui na Filadélfia, onde para mim inspirou e inspira muitos atletas. Agradeço a oportunidade de lutar mais uma vez e em busca de um sonho, que é os 3 cinturões, que todo atleta sonha em ser campeão e ter a coroa máxima. E eu vou subir para realizar mais um sonho. Obrigada a todos.
I'd like to take the opportunity to be here in Philadelphia and to accomplish the dream of unificating all the titles on the biggest fight of my career. I want to thank God first, and that's it. And Friday night, we'll see who will be the best lightweight in the female division.
Thank you, Rose. Again, I can't thank this lady enough for what she's done for women's boxing. And when she came to our office a few years ago with Brian Peters, I just met probably the most dedicated, driven individual that I've ever met. Responsible for so much, again, not just in women's boxing, in boxing. Former 5-time amateur world champion, 6-time amateur European champion, Olympic gold medalist in London in 2012, and the reigning WBA and IBF Women's World Lightweight Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, from Bray, Ireland, Katie Taylor.
Thank you so much, Eddie. I'm at you again for this opportunity. It's great to be here in Philadelphia. You know, there's such a rich history of boxing here in this city, and I'm so excited to fight here at the weekend. I've had a great training camp over these last few months, and I'm just ready to fight at this stage. I'm looking forward to a great challenge on Friday evening against Rose Volante. I'm sure she's ready for the challenge as well, and you're going to again see the best of women's boxing this Friday night, so I can't wait and enjoy the show. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Katie. The main event, the IBF Super Featherweight Championship of the World. You know, I was at the basketball last night with Tevin Farmer, and I was thinking that where we come from, in little old Britain, if this guy and this story was told in our country, the place would go nuts for Tevin Farmer. This is the first time in 16 years that a world champion from Philadelphia has defended their title in this city. And this is, as you call yourself, a fight city. So you really need to come out and support this man. His story is incredible. But one thing I will say, I was talking to some media earlier, it's just not just this man's story that's incredible, it's this man's story that's incredible as well. Because it wasn't so long ago that I put Jono Carroll in a card in Dublin against a young fighter called Declan Geraghty. I think you were 2-0 at the time or something like that. He was an opponent. It was a 4-round fight, and quite honestly, you were supposed to lose that night. And you didn't. You won in an absolute, one of the best 4-rounders I've ever seen. He went on, he won prize fighter, he went over, he continued to learn his trade, he teamed up with MTK, he went to Marbella, he moved everything to dedicate his life to the sport. And I know there's a lot of people, and I've even talked about the Gervonta Davis fight after this, but when I saw Jono Carroll yesterday at the training, I see him here today, you cannot underestimate the fire in this young man's belly. The opportunity for Jono Carroll to become world champion on Friday night. Do you have any idea what that means to Jono Carroll and to a young fighter? So this is it. This is your chance to become world champion. You know, not just in London or even in Ireland, but in America, in Philadelphia, in Tevin Farmer's backyard. We know there's been a war of words between the two, and that's great. But ultimately, there's much more than words on the line on Friday night. There's world championships, there's futures, there's legacies, there's everything in the sport of boxing. But this young man, with a lot of support in that arena from the Irish fans on Friday night, is looking to rip that world championship from Tevin Farmer. Ladies and gentlemen, the challenger for the IBF Super Featherweight Championship on Friday night from Dublin, Jono Carroll.
Thank you, Eddie. I just want to say a massive thank you to MTK Global, Eddie Hearn, Sky Sports, Dazn, Philadelphia for having me here, and Tevin Farmer giving me the opportunity to fight for this belt. This is something kids only dream of, you know. This is a real rocky story. Basically, I was planning on walking away from boxing only about 2.5 years ago. I was working, I was doing tree surgery, I wasn't getting many fights. I was basically getting like a phone call 2 weeks to go, and I just jumped at the opportunity. I was staying ready all the time, but the fight just weren't coming. And my missus ended up being pregnant, and then it was like, right, it was either boxing or get a job. So I actually got a job. I was working there for about 3 months. I was thinking, do you know what? There's no way I'm doing this for the rest of my life. I was getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I was getting home. I was getting to the gym then about 4. I wasn't getting home till about 7 o'clock. And I was thinking, if I have a baby, what sort of life is this? I'm never even going to be there when the kid's growing up, you know. I was like, do you know what? No way. So I teamed up to MTK. They got me 3 fights, one after another. I was able to put a bit of money in my pocket and brought the missus out to Marbella. She was 4 months pregnant at the time. And straight away, I just clicked with MTK, you know. Ever since, they've got me on great shows. I've steadily just kept creeping up the ranks. They got me my first European belt. They got me the Intercontinental belt. And then Matchroom came back around and gave me this opportunity, you know. So this is many people helped me to get to this point where I am. But at the same time, I dedicated my life to this sport. From like 15 onwards, I literally gave it everything. And then I broke my hand and I just walked away. You know, I was out of the ring for like 2 years. Then I had 2 fights in Australia, 2 years. That was 4 years and I only had 2 fights. And then I got that amazing opportunity in the Tree Arena to fight Declan Geraghty. And yeah, I jumped at that as well. I'm one of them fighters where it's like, I like risks, I like testing myself. I like making every day exciting. If every day is not exciting for me, then what's the point in even living, you know what I mean? I try to enjoy every minute. And sometimes I can look arrogant, sometimes I can look cocky and stuff up here. But realistically, that's just me enjoying myself. I'm having fun with it, you know. This whole week, I've just absorbed everything. I've really enjoyed Philadelphia, you know, walking around the city, embracing it, been up at the Rocky Steps this morning. There's a lot of history in this place, you know, and I've took it all in. So I'm not really looking at just a destination. I'm enjoying the whole journey up to this. And I've had an amazing camp. I've had no injuries, thank God. I've had really good sparring, and I think my last fight just gave me a bit of a wake-up call, you know. So we went back to the drawing boards, and I'm a much better fighter this time. I know I can't just roll over people at world level, you know. So I need to think, I need to be smart. Tevin Farmer has defended his title a couple of times now at this stage in quick sessions, so he's going to be sharp. He's a sharp shooter. We know what we're in for. We know we have a mountain to climb, but we're willing to climb that mountain. You know, like Wim Hof, I'm ready to go out in a bleeding pair of boots and shorts, and I'll climb that mountain, no problem. You know, it might be hard, but I think I can do it. You know, I have full faith in myself. I never doubted myself. From the start of my career, I never doubted myself. I'm a very fond believer of law of attraction, and I've put it out there. I've said I was going to do this. I said I was going to win the title off an American. And then how amazing would that be, going home and topping the bill maybe with Katie Taylor, both of us world champions, you know. Please God, on Friday night we can cheers them belts and have a good one. Thank you, Philly, for having me.
Thank you, Jono. Like I said, two great stories, but this young man's story, I think a lot of what Jono said, Tevin can resonate with as well. Never had the opportunity, no one gave him a chance, and now he sits before you in his hometown, ready to defend his world title. Ladies and gentlemen, the reigning IBF super featherweight champion of the world from Philadelphia, Tevin Farmer.
First, I want to thank everybody. First, I want to thank God for giving everybody the opportunity to be here today, and myself. I want to apologize for coming late. You know, making weight is never easy, you know, so. But, yeah, man, I'm looking forward to Friday night, you know. I'm coming to get it popping. Everybody knows these things about me already. I defended my belt. It's like my third defense in like 5 months. I'm really sharp. Shout out to my team, the whole team Farmer. I have a lot of trainers, I ain't gonna name them all, but shout out to them. We prepared very well, as always. There's been times where we had to step back from training, let my body rest, then step it back up. So I have a hell of a team, man. I also want to give a shout out to Eddie Hearns. I know I'm going off topic, but it is what it is. I want to give a shout out to Eddie Hearns, Luther Bella, Dazn, Matchroom Boxing, also Alex Dampeer and Rizzo, definitely Russell Peltz and RB. You know, they put a lot of work in for this show, and it's a blessing to be here after 16 years making my defense. You know, a lot of fighters wish they had the opportunity to defend their belt here in Philadelphia. A lot of fighters from Philadelphia. For me to be the first one to bring it back in 16 years is amazing, man. It's a good feeling. And I get to perform in front of everyone. You know, I've been fighting on the road lately, so everybody not fortunate to fly out to Boston or fly out to Australia or even drive to New York and pay tolls. So I talked to Eddie and Lou and told them I want to fight in Philly. You know, they made it happen. So shout out to them for believing in me. And that's it. I'm ready. I know Jono Carroll definitely gonna come ready. He know I'm a skillful fighter. I'm not just skillful, but I also work extremely hard. And he know these things. You know, it's his opportunity to strip me from my belt, something that no one have yet to do. And I just keep coming out victorious. I just want him to come in shape and give me a hell of a fight, because I'm really tired. I'm dead serious. I'm tired of rolling over these guys easy, you know. I want a real fight to where I say, man, I gotta take a break for like at least 4 or 5 months, because I keep fighting every 2 months because I'm coming out healthy and untouched, you know, and it's a blessing, man. I just want to thank everybody for coming out again. Thank you.
Well, we just have final questions for the main event. I want to just call up our co-promoters for the event as well to say a few words, particularly on behalf of their client with us, Tevin Farmer. Lou DiBella will be down, I believe, tomorrow, and a young man who's very important in the career of Tevin Farmer and also DiBella Entertainment. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Dampeer.
That's very bright. Yeah, thank you. It's got worse. No, I just really briefly just want to thank Matchroom Boxing, our co-promoter on Tevin Farmer. It's been a very short relationship so far, and already quite a historic one, right? I mean, Tevin was one of the first champions that was signed by Dazn. His first defense was on, I believe, Dazn's first show in America. His second defense was on the Canelo Alvarez show at Madison Square Garden. And now, as Eddie's alluded to, he makes history being a Philadelphia fighter who defends his title locally for the first time in 16 years. So I want to thank everyone at Matchroom Boxing. I want to thank Jono Carroll for being Tevin's dance partner in this fight. It's not just a Philadelphia fighter defending his fight in Philadelphia, it's an Irish fighter fighting for a world championship on St. Patrick's Day weekend. It's an unbelievable event, it's a historic event. I want to thank everyone, thank Tevin Farmer, who himself, it wouldn't be a historic relationship with Matchroom if Tevin didn't have a historic story. And that's part of what this event is about. So thank you, everyone.
And just finally, I know I don't think we're going to get any bad words today, which is good, but just a couple of questions for this main event about Jono. You look very serious today, and I know you talk about the journey and the experiences you've got here. How important is it to capitalise and to take this opportunity on Friday night and not just let it pass you by amongst the madness?
There's no chance in a million years I'm going to let this pass me easy. Tevin said he's been able to fight and continue fighting. Trust me, he's going to need a long layoff after this fight, because no matter who wins this fight, we are both coming out broke up. And I guarantee we are both going to get hurt in this fight. And I'm willing to walk through fire to get my dreams, you know what I mean? This isn't, I'm not here to take a payday. I don't want no payday. I want to set my stone, I want to set my name in stone in Ireland and be a world champion. And a genuine world champion. I want to do it the way Tevin done it. I want to win, and I want to continue fighting and beating guys up and calling people out. You know, that's why you have to take your hat off to the man, and you have to respect him, because he's willing to fight anyone, and so am I. There's never one time you rang me, even if it was 2 weeks' notice for a fight. I was always there, I always took the fight, I was always ready. I never once said no to any fight. So, what you see is what you get with me. I'm coming in strong. Even from my last bout, I wasn't happy with my performance. So it really shocked me. It was like, you know what, I need to knuckle down, get a little bit more hungry, I put a bit more fire in my belly, and that's what type of fighter I am. If I'm not happy with something, I go and I correct that, and I work hard, and I make sure I don't let things slide again, you know. I think I got a little bit comfortable rolling over people the same way Tevin did. Like, Tevin's rolling these fellas over. I just hope he didn't get comfortable, because I've prepared for the very best Tevin Farmer. You know, I watched him from the younger days to now, and don't get me wrong, he is a slick fighter, he's a very good fighter. But it's a mountain that I'm willing to climb, and I think I genuinely can make it to the top of that mountain and take that belt.
And final question to you. We know you're a man with a lot of energy and passion. What would it mean to you and your family to wake up as world champion on Saturday morning in Philadelphia?
It's weird, you know what, I don't dream much. I very rarely remember a dream, and last night I just had a dream, and it was weird. I was sitting there with the missus, I was actually like, it was the day after I was already winning the belt, and I was like nearly crying. I actually nearly woke up crying. That's how much it means to me. And like, I'm not a man to really show me emotions too much, unless it's good emotions and happy, you know. But for me, it's like, obviously it means the world for me. It changes my family's life forever. I do this boxing game basically to have financial freedom. I don't want to just get a lot of money and blow it on a Rolex or blow it on like fancy things, big fancy car. It's going to lose value straight away. I want to buy houses. I just want to be financially free, so we can go and spend some quality time with my family and get out of this sport as quick as possible and make as much money, be a multiple-time world champion, and that's what I'm in this sport for. I don't come just to take a payday. That payday doesn't mean anything to me, because the next payday and the one after that and the one after that, that's what's going to secure my family's future forever. So that's what I'm here for.
Thank you, Jono. And Tevin, finally for you, you've been there. You've been chasing this dream, chasing being world champion, and now for you I see a much more business style approach. You mustn't let what you've earned slip on Friday night.
Before I answer your question, I also want to give a shout out to the other Philly fighters in the card, like Gabe Rosado, and Hank Lundy, and Avery, and even my young boy Ray Ford. It's gonna be a great crowd, not only because of me, but because of these guys too. You know, and I watched Gabe come up, you know, and he's still climbing. And it's not only my show, it's our show, you know. So that's what I wanted to say.
And finally, I know I'm not going to ask you for a prediction, but do you think you're just too skillful for Jono Carroll on Friday night?
I'm just better all around, you know, mentally, physically, skillful, whatever you call it, spiritually, whatever. I'm just a better fighter all the way around the board. And I know he said you come to fight. A lot of people say that every time, and they fall short with me, you know. Since I've been on my high horse and switched teams and really got the grinding and eating correctly and doing all the things, no one have yet claimed even close to beating me. Not even close. So, I mean, I hope he just come to fight, you know. I'm ready. And he said it's that mountain he got to climb. Well, it's a high-ass mountain.
I'm willing to climb it, no problem. And listen, the thing is, he has rolled over people easy. I thought I was more skillful than the last fella I fought. I said nearly the exact same things he just said. I just thought I'm a better fighter all around. I genuinely did, and I took my foot off the gas. I nearly banged him out there in the third round, and then I thinking, no, I can hurt him, start loading him, throwing stupid shots. Sometimes in this sport, boxing is one of them sports, world titles exchange hands very quickly. So never get too comfortable. If you're at the top of that mountain, never get too comfortable, because the wolf on the way up, he's the hungry motherfucker, and he's gonna eat your ass alive.
No, congratulations.
Tevin, I'll just ask you one more question before we do heads up here.
Yeah, ask me that.
For all what it would mean to Jono Carroll to be triumphant, to win a world title on Friday night, what would it mean to you after everything you've been through to walk out on Friday night? Trust me, the crowd's going to be electric, to defend your world championship in your hometown of Philadelphia. What is this Leocora Center? A minute from where you grew up?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a 2-minute walk from where I grew up at, my neighborhood. You know, everybody's gonna be there. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be everyone. I mean, everyone. And, it's a great feeling. I hope I can do it again, man. I just want to have a great crowd, great energy, which I know it will be, because you know, here in Philly we go crazy, you know, and it's gonna be fun, man. But I hope you gotta be praying, man.
Thank you. And again,
hope you praying.
Praying?
Yeah.
What would we be praying for?
Hope you better.
Praying. Look at you, you're tiny.
You gonna get your ass kicked.
You're gonna see.
Remember
this is UFC,
Let's address this while Eddie Hearns is right here.
Listen, let's just say, right, there's two people alive on this planet. There's two people alive, and me and him one of us had to die. It would definitely be Tevin Farmer. And I'd skin him, and I'd cook him up, and I'd eat him. No problem.
You can't beat me in the ring, or you can't beat me in the street fight.
Mate, I would eat you alive.
Let's address this while Eddie Hearns here. Let's address this. We went through this on social media, and I want to address this. You know, I'm a man, and when I talk, when I say I mean it. I gave you the opportunity to fight.
You gave me the opportunity.
I gave you the opportunity. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be fighting. You could ask Eddie right here. What I tell you, Eddie, I want to fight Jono Carroll. You'd have been going home to your family, and you'd have worked again. There's nothing wrong with working, but you'd have worked again.
Shut up, listen.
You'd have worked again. I gave you an opportunity.
Slippers, man. He thinks he's taking this serious. You showed up to a press conference in slippers.
They ain't got nothing to do with beating your ass. Jesus. Having slippers ain't got nothing to do with beating your ass. Listen, I'm for me. I ain't for nobody else. I gotta go in the suit, look good. Yeah, look good, but I'm gonna do make me feel good. You wanna be dressed in the suit? You drink suit wearing ass nigga. You drink with a suit on, man. I'm in flip flop. I'm in flip flop with a tracksuit. I'm comfortable, baby. I'm comfortable. You look very uncomfortable. You look very uncomfortable. You look very uncomfortable. You look very uncomfortable. And you shaving that beard. You shaving your beard too. Yes, you is. I seen the picture. I seen the picture with your beard. I seen the picture with your beard cut. You look like a pervert. I seen the picture. You look like a pervert. You look like a pervert. You look like a pervert. You're cutting your beard. You're gonna be a pervert boxer that night. I'm gonna beat your ass.
The only reason he wants me to cut me beard is because he's jealous he can't grow one.
I don't want that. Listen, I hang around a bunch of Akis with beard. I'm different. I don't need a beard. I don't need a beard. I hang around a bunch of Akis with beard.
Don't worry about it.
Listen,
can't take your beard. You can't grow with beard.
You're gonna have to work again, buddy.
Oh, you're gonna have to work?
Listen, I already secured 7 figures. You're gonna have to work.
I'm good.
You
don't care what you do with your life.
You better play. And then you talking about something. And then you talking about something. Oh, it's not about the money. What the fuck are you doing it for? It's about the fucking money with me. It's about the money. It's about the money. It's about the money. I'm gonna beat your ass and get a paycheck that night. I'm gonna beat your ass. I hope you're getting paid. I hope you're getting paid very well, and you better be a good businessman to invest it when you're done.
I'm a good businessman, and I will invest it. Trust me.
You gonna get beat the fuck
up.
I'm
gonna smash your head in.
Move on.
I'm gonna smash your head in. Don't worry about it.
You ain't gonna do shit. Shut up.
You ain't gonna do shit.
Everybody's saying that. I will beat your ass, boy.
You wouldn't be able to.
You couldn't grow up where I grew up at. You telling something you grew up hard. You couldn't dare walk across Thurberry Mansion Bridge. You couldn't dare. They would eat you alive.
Oh my God.
They would eat you alive.
I'm from the hood.
And then you gonna take a picture. And then you gonna take a picture in the good part of.
It's a roof area. I walk away to Dublin.
And then you gonna take a picture in the good part of Philly. You went to the fucking good part, dog. Nigga, you ain't go to Burke Street, you ain't go to Diamond Street, you went to fucking, you went to the low lot, the low side of South Philly, you went to 7th Street, you went to Spring Garden, nigga, you ain't go to the Rock Philly.
I hope you're proud of your world champion. Show flip-flops.
I'ma always be me. Yeah, I got flip-flops on a sweatsuit, my bank account big as yours with a suit on.
We don't care about a bank account, mate.
Yes, it do. I do, cause guess what? I ain't gotta work again, buddy.
I'm what? That's what I'm here.
I don't want to work again either. I'm gonna beat you the fuck up.
Listen, a man that has a lot to lose. I have nothing to lose. You know what I mean? Talking about bank account, I don't care. I have nothing to lose. I'm coming here to give it my all, so we can get that fat bank account. That's what I want.
Why
you know what I mean?
Why he has a lot to lose? Theories. Where you get these theories from? Nothing to lose. Something to lose.
I have nothing to lose. What is it? You tell me what I have to lose. You haven't got a belt. I'm coming here to take your belt.
What do you got to lose?
What do I have to lose?
You sound horrible right now.
I had nothing before boxing. I had literally zilch before boxing. And now here I am fighting for a world title.
That don't make you a good fighter.
And because you're from the hood, doesn't make you a bad fighter. Stop talking bullshit.
I'm better than you. You can ask all your Irish fans. Eddie know I'm better than you. I ain't gonna put him on the spot, but you know I'm better than you.
We don't care.
You ain't
are
shit.
Skillful.
You ain't shit. You ain't shit. You like how you lost it, no. You lost. You lost.
You lost 4 times. You lost. You lost 4 times.
I'm a world fucking champion. I'll be at.
Now a world champion.
I'll be a world fucking champion.
You actually lost, did you, or did you not lose
in this exact arena? I'm a world champ.
It's gonna be the same.
I'm a world champ. You fucking bum. I should slap
you. It's getting smashed up. Let's believe it. I would loaf the hell off you.
Hey, bro, if I slap you, bro, you won't do shit if I slap you right now. I won't die.
Do it.
I won't die.
Do it.
You won't do shit.
Do it. Come on, do it. Do it.
Tevin, sit down. Tevin. No, boys.
That one was definitely a bully victim. Anyone know him from skill knows he was a bully victim in skill. If he was in full skill, he definitely would have been a bully victim.
Yeah, I've been like this before, nigga. Sit down. Boxing make me humble. I've been like this. Fuck you talking.
No, it didn't.
Right. There's people there trying to get away, I think. I looked at Katie Taylor's face halfway through that. She was just borderline walking off. So, right. I honestly didn't think that would happen, but I'm a promoter.